Hello, everyone. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking I want to talk about labor preparation. So let's see where this takes us. Okay, so when it comes to preparing for labor, you can prepare emotionally, physically, mentally, and you know what? Emotionally and mentally are really the same. Emotionally slash mentally, physically, spiritually. Okay. Now let's talk about mentally and emotionally. Before you go into labor, throughout your pregnancy, you really need to deal with any fears you have associated with birth. So addressing your fears. Because if you go into labor with the fear of something going wrong or your body not performing in the way that it should, you are already priming yourself to have a bad experience. Okay? So you really want to address your fears. You can do this through journaling. And this is you asking yourself questions like, what exactly am I afraid of? Why am I afraid of that? Where did I learn to be afraid of that? You know, if you're afraid of tearing, what can I do to prevent tearing? And a lot of time you can eradicate your fears by educating yourself. Knowledge erases fear, because once you know better, it's like, okay, I have nothing to be afraid of because I know how birth works, right? So you really want to address your fears. And this is more so on the emotional aspect. Now, when it comes to your mental, I highly recommend meditation for a few reasons. Number one, it gets you into the habit of going within. Going within. And when I say going within, I mean, like, if you've ever meditated before, maybe I should incorporate my chair. I don't have to stand the whole time, right? Is that okay? We'll see. When I say going within, if you've ever meditated before, when you meditate for a long period of time, 15 minutes or more, it gets to this point where the outside noise no longer affects you. It's like you're really in your head. You're in the world of your mind. You're in the inner world. You're within yourself. You're not focused on anything external. Anything that anybody is saying, anything that's going on, you're not focused on that because you're in your mind. You're in the mental plane. You're on the mental plane. I hope that makes sense. So meditation teaches you how to do that, and it's really useful during labor because you're going to be experiencing physical a physical challenge to say the least. So being able to go within and um, like you're controlling your mind, right? Because your body is going to experience labor regardless. There's going to be nothing that you can do to stop labor. So if it's nothing you can do to stop the physical from happening and you can control the mental, that is what is going to help get you through. Okay, trust me. If you have a strong mentality going into birth, it's so much easier than being in birth. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What is going on? You're screaming, you're kicking, you're hollering. You're telling your body that you're in danger, right? So you really need to prepare yourself mentally for the battle that you're going to be experiencing physically, because you're not going to be able to stop it. So the only thing you can control is your mental. Okay? So meditation, because it teaches you how to go within yourself. And you do not have to start at 15 minutes. If you've never meditated before, start with 5 minutes and then do 5 minutes for a week. And then the week after that, do 10 minutes. And the week after that, do 15, and so on and so forth. And if you, while you're pregnant, especially if you have the privilege of not having to work, I would really hone in on meditation. Like, really go all the way with it up until an hour long. If you can meditate for an hour at a time, honey, you're golden. So address your fears, meditate, and then educate yourself. I already said this, but we're gonna go back here. Educate yourself about how the body gives birth, right? Physically surrender. That's how you can prepare physically. Surrender to your body. Don't go into labor fighting the labor. It's not you against the labor. It's not a war. Okay? Shoulders down. Hands loose and open, right? No clenching your fists, no high raised shoulders, face relaxed, as relaxed as possible, you know. And you might still do these things, but talk to your birth partner, talk to your doula, talk to whoever, and ask them, like, if they notice that you're looking tense and your hands are tight and everything, ask them to remind you, hey, relax yourself, surrender to the process, let down your shoulders, open up your hands, breathe, okay? Physically, breathe. Breathe. The breath controls your body, right? The breath is life. When you're anxious and you're scared, you breathe really fast. When you're calm, you breathe slow. So control your breath. Slow it down. Inhale deeply. Exhale inhale for as long as possible. So inhale deeply, and when you exhale, let it all out really, really slow, right? And just look into different breathing techniques. YouTube has everything, especially for preparing for labor. Staying fit. Staying fit does not mean, it's not the same type of staying fit as when you are not pregnant. It's more so just to maintain health. You don't need to build muscle. You can if you want to, but that's the focus. You don't have to build muscle. You don't have to strain yourself. You don't have to work super hard. You just need to maintain your health. Go on walks, right? Or jog. Stretch. Yoga. Right? Pilates. Okay? It doesn't have to be extreme workouts. It can be simple, but you just need something, some type of fitness routine to maintain your health and wellness. Okay? So prepare physically by staying fit. Eating nutritious meals. Okay? Fruits, vegetables, 100% juice. Less soda while you're pregnant. Less sugar, period, while you're pregnant. Less artificial sugar while you're pregnant. Less fast foods, less processed foods. Okay? That's really self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go into why you need to be doing these things. You know why you need to be doing these things. Your baby is growing based on everything that you eat, period. So if you eat a lot of McDonald's, you just grew a McDonald's baby. If you eat a lot of fruits, vegetables, and all the other stuff, I'm just saying fruits and vegetables because those are the things that we tend to neglect. Okay? Water, coconut water, right? Hydrating. And then the fruits are also going to give you the hydrating water because regular water is empty. It doesn't have like something in it. It's missing stuff. It doesn't have all the minerals and stuff that you need. I think don't quote me on this because this is not my domain, or this is not my expertise, but I believe it's H3O2 versus H2O. Right? Look up the difference between H3O2 and H2O because it's the difference. Usually we're drinking H2O and we need to be getting the H3O2 because the H3O2 is actually what's going to be hydrating you. So eating right, prepare physically by eating nutritious meals, staying fit, surrendering to your body while you're in labor, and breathing. Prepare emotionally and mentally by addressing your fears. You can do this through journaling. You can do this through getting a therapist. And if you don't want to go the therapist route, you know who the therapist for pregnancy is? Doulas and midwives. You can definitely talk to your doula and your midwife about different things that you are afraid of when it comes to birth because these are people who know a lot about birth and labor, and they're going to give you all the information you need, all the facts, and usually that will calm your fears right on down. But if they are deep-rooted fears, if you have traumas from your previous birth, those are things you're really going to have to work hard to work through before you get to the labor. You really want to release that out of your subconscious so that you can give birth freely, okay? And for those deeper traumas, you might just need a therapist. All right. And then last but definitely not least is spiritually. I really don't want to erase this, so we're going to use this area and this area for the spiritually. This part is going to look different for everybody, but all in all, if you're a spiritual person, right, you believe in God, in whatever faith that you follow, if you believe in God, you trust in God's plan. Right? You trust in God's plan. You are no longer afraid. You can prepare spiritually, obviously, by praying about your desired outcome. Right? Letting God know what it is that you want to experience, especially if you had a bad experience in a previous birth, you know, lay it all on the table. Ask God what your specific instructions are for preparing for this birth, because everyone is going to have a different set of instructions. What works for one woman might not work for the next woman. So, you know, really connect to God and figure out what is it that you need to do to have the best birth that you can have. How else can you prepare spiritually for birth? Fasting. Not fasting from food. Not from food. Right? But from toxicity. Right? Toxic people, toxic foods, right? You can fast from toxic foods, just not all food, right? Because you're pregnant. Fast from toxic people, fast from toxic music, fast from toxic movies, because everything that you're intaking, you're feeding your baby. And I'm not just talking about food. If you're intaking that toxic music, your baby is hearing that. If you're intaking that toxic movie, your baby is feeling the sensations that you're feeling from this negative movie, this scary movie, this evil movie, right? If you're around toxic people, they're going to stress you out. You're going to stress your baby out. Whatever you feel during the pregnancy, your baby also feels. So keep that in mind, right? So prepare for labor spiritually by fasting from all things that are toxic. All things that are toxic. And honestly, that feels right. That feels right. Look at my business cards. They're so cute. I designed them myself on Canva and printed them from Canva. Y'all, do not sleep on getting your business cards from Canva. And I guess that's it. Good night.